Because I've noticed that no matter what's happening, regardless of what's going to happen, nothing is going to change. It's always been a two-party system. The United States represents one of all the people in the world in this great nation. So how is it we only have two political parties representing them? And the way how I thought is that the two political parties, no matter who gets elected, nothing changes. And that's pretty sad. It's all about interests nowadays, and the people really need somebody who understands them and somebody who can find solutions.
What are some of the solutions you want to find, your main platforms going forward? I know you've said national security is a big one.
National security is a big one, and that's something that I have to my benefit is obviously the language. What I feel is going on nowadays is that we're having a cultural everybody equally without discrimination.
You've got a lot of pushback from this. You've currently filed suit in Texas. Yes. For the requirements there for you to even get on the ballot. Explain the issue in Texas. It's a nationwide issue.
It's a nationwide issue.
You use Texas as a good example. Explain.
Well, for example, as a third-party candidate, I need to declare my vice presidential candidate.
Your heritage. It's very interesting. Your father is from Aleppo, Syria, which is always in the news now. Very contentious debate around that. Your mother's from Venezuela. Tell us your story and coming from that and sort of the unique things you can bring to the table.
My both parents were actually born in Aleppo, Syria, and I tell everybody, my family lived the American dream. My grandfather passed away. My dad was in Brooklyn. Where I was born, actually, in this city, and raised in an Italian neighborhood. So I have multicultural.
And now you're in Miami teaching, and now you want to run for president. So how are you hoping that what you're doing now can change things for the future? Because there's not a great chance that the way that the system is now is going to get you elected president. You are making a huge statement, though, to hopefully.
Yes.
I'm not saying you don't have it. I'm not saying you don't have a chance.
Let me tell you, the chances based on statistics,
let's talk about reality.
With nobody wanting, either party, the chances are really high. Because if I didn't think it was, I wouldn't have even done it. Imagine I've spent over a year campaigning,
and no one's really featured you on a lot of mainstream media.
Not in the national, no.
Unless you seem viable.
Unfortunately.
After the elections, change this, or are you going to pivot to something else?
No, I do plan. I do plan on making a statement. I tell everybody, regardless of, where I end up, it's not important for me to get to the White House as much as it is for the message to get across. All the political candidates, all they've done is just
throne, but no power.
And they actually work for the Clintons. So imagine, and for me to know that, it's like everything that Trump is saying, and even Roger Stone wrote about it, their war on women, and that's really a fact.
Absolutely. And obviously you've got the chops to do this. You've got the diversity. You've got the education. You've, all of this. But what have you heard from other people trying to run for office down ballot, Senate, Congress, who are expressing the same frustration? Any chance there will be a unity there to fight this on a legal basis? This discrimination against independent candidates?
I hope so. I mean, I know at least from Florida, there's a gentleman by the name of Tony Huri
trying to
get in touch with them and try to figure out what else we could do among other independents, because we do need to do something. It's ridiculous, where we are this day and age, the fact how the system is created to keep out third-party candidates. And the media doesn't help either.
Well, and it's been this way for a long time, but certainly this year with all of the divisive, as you say, wedge issues, we're seeing that thirst for something else. So this comes at the perfect time. We are going to stay on top of your bid for the presidency and how this lawsuit carries forward and your success in it. Thank you very much for joining me in the Hillary-Trump debate.
I almost think the more that I hear about Bernie and Trump, they're like two brothers separated from another mother. I mean, right?
It's uncanny, actually. It's a bit crazy.
Because Bernie loathes the DNC, like Donald Trump loathes and reviles the...
Who would the protesters be? Hillary protesters? Would we then see Hillary protesters?
Well, actually, I tweeted, I said, Bernie, you'd have to keep your Sandinistas under control. Your violent Sandinistas. Well, the Wall Street Journal coined that. I just ran with it.
Okay. That's fairly safe. Trump clinched the nomination. Yeah. He's in. Paul Ryan, withholding support. Do you think maybe it's, listen, Donald, you unite this party or I'm not giving you anything? What do you think?
It's like tick-tock, 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 Paul Ryan. So what is it?
What do you think about California? Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are in a dead heat there. What do you think this unprecedented voter registration? How do you think this bodes for Trump in the general election. I know, okay, just bear with me here. There's a massive shift taking place in California.
Yeah.
Do you think it bodes well for support for Trump? If not in the polls, then just getting behind him as a I don't want to say as the Republican nominee, because he is. Do you know what I'm trying to say
as the
here?
Presidential hitman?
Yeah. Kind of. This switch of emotions in California.
So,
last question. What do you think about, women like I just had on? It's like pushing a car up a hill. These people who are trying to make the way for independent candidates because they don't like the way the party is operated.
Yeah.
The same way Bernie and Trump have done. What do you think it bodes for the future after these elections?
I think
any changes?
Yeah, I think we could potentially see new party. Maybe it's called, We the People party, and maybe it's a party that actually is inclusive, and you don't just have to be a conservative.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think it was kind of incendiary. The guest before me said that what somebody told her, somebody that worked on the Clinton campaign, that she should actually be somebody's wife, political wife. Really?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But exactly. Hillary's not good at it, so here we go. I mean, as far as she wants to come out as well.
Yeah, Hillary wants to break the glass ceiling, but just for Hills.
This is true. Thank you very much. True as far as what a lot of people are saying anyway. Author and conservative commentator Crystal Wright, always a pleasure.